Your continued support of the CoinSuries channel is much appreciated. The Deloitte report on business payments from February is something I felt you might find interesting. Corporate payment clearing and settlement has benefited greatly from Ripple. Attention, everyone, the following is paraphrased from a February 2024 Deloitte report regarding the future of company payments. I won't bore you with the details, but if you're curious, I'll provide a link in the description. Nevertheless, there are thriving kinds of unconventional competition that are enhancing innovation and ecosystem collaboration. In this case, we observe clearing and settlement, a digital firm based in the United States that has created a parallel ecosystem and enabled firms to make cross-border payments, thereby displacing banks. Even though business-to-business e-commerce is mentioned in the study, let's zero in on this innovative payment method and how it works with the others. Just who are these guys talking about? It turns out that number 9 is Ripple if you check the footnote. They are all interconnected. Naturally, make my way back there. Furthermore, I will find it for you. Recap, these are Ripple's international payment options. You can find them in the 9th footnote. Ripple, a digital corporation established in the United States, is allegedly attempting to create an alternative ecosystem and disintermediate banks by making it easier for businesses to make cross-border payments. Ripple has consistently communicated its vision of becoming interoperable and has been an outspoken proponent of the industry's growth. Ripple may have aspired to compete with Swift at some point, but I never thought they would. But I think there came a point not long after that when they understood they had to work with the banking system to eventually, but surely, overtake the king. Along these lines, it's important to remember that Ripple has lately hinted at the prospect of replacing Swift or someone else entirely. Even if Rob Kahneman has pointed out the obvious, this is the only way things work out. All of these retail paycos have also begun accepting corporate payments, which is a fascinating development. This proves that Ripple isn't alone. I find it interesting that big tech companies and payment processors are also trying to get in on the fun. Because of this, they'll have to adapt by creating their own blockchain-based technology or by forming a partnership with an established company. For instance, several are collaborating with Ripple at the moment. Now we have some interesting news from another big company, Deloitte. I simply wish to convey my appreciation to Kahneman's wrath for alerting me to it. An additional player in this field has just come out with their financials, the Albanian realty firm Wrath of Khan and fascinating Capital Point, which takes cryptocurrency for international payments, including XRP. It seems like some of their calculations include a 277 million XRP transaction. He just put up the BitHump Explorer, which I was trying to track down. You can find the link here. But still, hundreds of deals seem to have gone through. In all likelihood, I will ignore most of them. However, I felt compelled to bring up an intriguing point. If you go over here, they proudly display the fact that they were in the picture. Thus I'm guessing that their wallet was as well. It is difficult to imagine how much XRP they started with, but are now transacting with, given that there are 26 million Flare tokens in circulation. How interesting. Again, this is an Albanian real estate agency. Looking for the best Albanian real estate investment opportunities? Capital Point can help you find them with their customized alternatives and expert guidance. Seize this chance to elevate your real estate portfolio with additional Capital Points. Hence, I'll include a descriptive link to this. Once again, Kahneman's rage has bestowed upon us a remarkable insight. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to go in and see what kinds of transactions are displayed here. I searched high and low, but I found that one of those discounts could pop up at any moment if you keep loading these. The deal involving more than 200 million XRP does not seem to be there. Whatever the situation may be, it seems like they deal with a lot of business every day. In any case, I had hoped to move on from this 2 days ago. There is a little more to the actual length. Just 2 days before this piece was published, the Bank of Ireland released the Satisfactory Regulatory Supervisory Outlook Report for 2024. The financial markets are overseen by the central bank, which has control over more than 12,000 organizations across several industries. The rapid pace of digital innovation in the financial services sector is giving rise to new capabilities. For instance, multiple operational processes are being replaced by new products built on crypto technology. New technologies have the potential to substantially improve economic performance, which in turn will benefit consumers and other users of financial services. That the bank is doing this intrigues me greatly. The Central Bank of Ireland's regulatory and supervisory perspective commencing in February 2024 was recently detailed in a study. Obviously, men aren't as important as females. We are aware that the Bank of Ireland is associated with Ripple. The announcement that Ripple has registered with the ECB was made a little time ago in January. That attack caused this. Since December, you might have observed that the Central Bank of Ireland has identified Ripple as a provider of virtual asset services. Just a few months ago, this listing was made. Following the implementation of the Market and Crypto Assets Regulation (MiCA) at the tail end of 2024, the firm intends to provide its services to clients across the European Economic Area, pending the acquisition of further licenses. So, this was big news. Back when Ripple was trying to get into the European market, they might have thought about looking at the issue from the perspective of Ireland. It just takes one country to start infecting the others. As you probably already know, well, look who we have here, Paul C. Colton. This is the ideal spot to showcase the snapshot of Brad Garland dressed as a leprechaun. Coincidentally, I wanted to thank Smoke for bringing to our attention the fact that tokenization is likewise a hot subject. It is becoming more important in the Bitcoin market. Eddie elucidates Ripple's key problems by bringing this up: tokenization, smart contract partners, and custody. Beyond the realm of international money transfers, the long-term potential of all these additional apps that use the XRP ledger is huge. At $500 trillion or even more, the potential is huge in the long run. To this point, she has relied solely on Metallica's official website. Please examine this. From the global real estate markets $300 trillion plus to the world's capital markets about $250 trillion worth of assets, the potential long-term value of tokenized assets is huge. Since Ripple did acquire Matico, this can be considered formal confirmation from that company. They will learn their destination once they join the tokenization and custody games. Additionally, the SEC just sent us some breaking news. Crypto Johnny, how are you doing? I thought you would find this interesting. The crypto industry and the SEC continue their feud, and Gary Gensler wins another round. A ruling was made for the SEC by Judge Tana Lin in answer to your question. She found that the Bitcoin assets in issue were securities and so were subject to the authority of the SEC, even if they were traded on Coinbase's secondary market. Allow me to provide further detail now. Recent ruling in the Coinbase insider trading case by the SEC, which determined that secondary token sales were securities, had a negative impact on the cryptocurrency industry. I have attached an article that gives some background information in case you are interested in reading more about this. Just so we can get to the point, Lin concurred with the SEC on Friday, saying that sales of crypto assets, even on secondary marketplaces, constituted securities. That's the dangerous bit. She deduced that issuers' extensive advertising of the tokens caused a higher value expectation, which she later confirmed. On platforms like Coinbase, issuers facilitated secondary market trade. We were hoping that XRP would have no restrictions in secondary markets. Thus we are asking if that is still the case. Spluttering muck on a wall and seeing what sticks is how Jeff Lynne describes it. Whenever John gives a crypto response, someone usually gets pinned to the wall. Not your post. But the story as a whole is plainly based on fear, and they would rather XRP not admit it. Alright, I'll confess that this is a disinformation campaign, but I'll include a link in the description nevertheless. It would appear, nonetheless, that their objective has not changed: to frighten the store owners. People that post something like this are like dark horses. Therefore the question is intriguing. Sales of securities or those listed on secondary markets have commenced. After that, what are our remaining options? Where does XRP stand? It is a very good question. But Bill Morgan gets down to brass tacks here. A very good question, claiming that there is no positive or bad news for XRP. If Bill is to be believed, this will have no negative impact on XRP. The judge's importance to the XRP community is demonstrated by this. A large number of cryptos were sold on the secondary market as part of this default judgment before anything else. I should mention that XRP is not part of this collection of cryptos. Judge Torres has already ruled that XRP is not a security, but only to a lesser degree. In addition, the issuers of the supposed crypto assets were not parties to the procedures that resulted in the ruling you are citing. There is no collateral estoppel or residential judicata established for any other party because of this. That being the case, it would seem that Bill is correct in his assessment that there is no issue there. The discussion carries on down below as Dark Horse argues his case. I was directed to these people by Luke Thomas. After the SEC versus Ripple case settles in April 2024, Bill Morgan will respond here. I'll include a link to his response in the description for anyone curious to read more. The verdict is expected to have favorable rippling effects from April 24, 2025, until August 20, 2025. In spite of Judge Torres's ruling that private investors will never be able to buy XRP for less than $1 again, I still think it will be more than $1 again. This relates to the current case. My effort to punch in is captured on this short screen capture. The parties participating in the discovery process created more than 1,700 contracts, via which Ripple delivered XRP to their counterparties in various commercial activities. David Schwartz's expert study classifies the 1,700 XRP contracts into 4 broad categories. He then goes on to list each group. The video ends with that. It would mean the world to me if you could hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Gracias por todo. Depart.